Hi, my name is Miss Roz, and I'm a teaching artist in the PACE Art Program. We integrate the arts with your classroom curriculum. I'll be working with you all year through these videos. We are going to be exploring lots of different subjects this year, and you might be watching this from your classroom, or you might be at home watching this online. We are coming to you today thanks to the Acadiana Center for the Arts and the Lafayette Parish School System. You can find these videos anytime through the LPSS website or the Acadiana Center for the Arts YouTube channel. Let me introduce myself. I am Miss Roz, and I'm a visual artist. I like to draw and paint. Some of our videos will be with creative movement artists who move with their bodies, and some will be with other visual artists like me. In today's video, we're going to look at a famous artist named Kandinsky and his abstract art. Kandinsky was a Russian artist. Can you say Kandinsky? Kandinsky. And this is one of his paintings. What do you think it is a painting of? I would love to hear all your responses. Everyone thinks it's something different. It's not very easy to tell. It's not a tree or an ocean or a dog or a house. We say it is abstract. Does anyone know what abstract means? It is art that you can't really tell exactly what it is. It's mostly a lot of lines and shapes and colors, and sometimes it gives you a feeling, or sometimes it looks like motion. Did you know that our whole world is made out of lines? Just take a minute and let's look around your classroom or your home, and let's see what lines you can find. Do you see anything that's straight? Look at the door frame. How about the windows? Are those made with straight lines? Mine are. And straight lines can make shapes. How about anything curved? Do you see anything round, like a circle? I do. Maybe you see the clock in your room, or maybe the curve of a chair. There are lots of straight lines and curved lines in our world. How about zigzag? Does anything in your classroom show a zigzag line? Sometimes our bulletin board displays have zigzag lines or wavy lines. Our whole world is made of lines, and that's how artists draw things. They look at the lines that they see and the shapes that they see, and that helps them to draw. Today we're going to be using a lot of lines and shapes just to show a feeling. It's some abstract art like Kandinsky. Let's look at Kandinsky's famous abstract painting. It has a title, just like books do. It's called Composition 8. Artists give their art titles, just like authors give their books titles. Let's look at this painting closely. What are some of the things you notice in it? First, I see shapes, circles, and circles inside of circles. So many different color circles all around the painting. They remind me of the sun or planets. What do they make you think of? Then I see lines. Lines that are straight. Some are horizontal, some are more vertical, and even diagonal directions. Some that are wavy, and even zigzag. Do you notice the checkerboard patterns? Kandinsky did that a lot. Kandinsky told people that he could hear colors. Sometimes, if he heard a bell, he would think the color red. Or if he would hear a bird singing, he might think blue. Isn't that strange? Can any of you hear colors? He sometimes listened to music, and however it made him feel, that's what he would draw. His aunt, when he was young, gave him his very first paint set, And when he would swish his brush in the paint, he would hear sounds like hiss and swish. In today's video, we're going to make your very first piece of abstract art. You're going to make your own piece like Kandinsky. You just need to get your supplies together. Do you have some white paper to draw on, like this? We're going to use one to make our Kandinsky. You also need some supplies from your desk, maybe your crayons. If you happen to have markers, that's fine, but you don't have to. If you even have colored pencils, you can use those as well. So let's clear off our workspace, your desk or your table where you're working, so you can draw really well. And let's get started. Great. Are we all ready to work now? I have my crayons in front of me. I have a few markers to use, so if you have a few markers, you can take those out. But if you don't, just put all your crayons in front. We're going to practice some of those lines that we talked about. A straight line is the first one we're going to practice. This one's going across my page. So watch Miss Roz. I'm going to start on the left. I'm going to start near the top so I can fit a lot of lines on my paper. I'm going to start on the left, and I'm going to pull my crayon all the way to the right. Try it. Put your crayon on the left and go all the way across to the right. This is called a straight line. Can everybody say straight line? Good. Straight lines also can go up and down. I'm going to put one starting at the top, and I'm going to pull down my crayon all the way to the bottom. This one is vertical. So straight lines can go in two different directions or many different directions. Great. The next line we're going to practice is this one. This is called a curved line. Watch Miss Roz draw the curved line. I'm going to go up near the top where I have some space, and I start on the left and I go up and back down. This one kind of looks like a rainbow. Kandinsky had a lot of curved lines in his art. We're practicing how to make these lines. When we get to our art project, we'll know how to make them. I'm using a dark color. I'm using purple. Are you using a dark color so you can see it when you're drawing? Is anyone using the same color as me? I'm using purple. Is anyone using a different color? Purple shows up well. Yellow doesn't show up as well. Let's try the next line. This one right here is called a wavy line. It goes under like a smile, over like a rainbow, like a smile. It wiggles like a snake, all the way across. Let's try making a wavy line. I'm going to start on the left, and I'll start like a smile, then I'll go over like a rainbow, and I keep moving my hands, my crayon over and under and over and under, all the way across. That one's called a wavy line. Can everybody say wavy line? Does that one remind you of something? It reminds me of something at the beach. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yep, it looks like the waves of the ocean at the beach. Some people think this is a wavy line. But actually, this is not a wavy line. This is curve, 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 curve. You may have seen this line before. Once I was reading a book about a bunny rabbit, or maybe it was about a frog and it was hopping. And the illustrator used this line to show me where the bunny was hopping or where the frog was hopping, and I could follow the line. It showed me the motion of the bunny and the frog. You want to try this one? But this one is just a lot of curves put together. We're just practicing our lines right now. Great. Did you get that wavy line down? How about that curve line put together? That was fun to make, right? The next one is my very favorite line to make. Can you guess what it is? Yep, that's right. It's a zigzag. Zigzags go up and down and up and down. Some are like very tall mountains. Some can be very small, like alligator teeth. So sometimes you can go up tall and then back down, and sometimes you can go up short. Try the zigzag line now. If you need to say up, down, you can say that. I started on the left and I went all the way across to the right. That's a fun line to make. So far we've done straight line, curved line, wavy line, and zigzag. The next line we're going to learn is called dotted line. It's called dotted line because it is a line. It's not just one dot, it's a lot of dots in a row. So I'm going to make a little dot like this. It's kind of like I'm making a circle and I'm coloring it in all the way across. It's a fun line to make. A lot of dots in a row, and you can follow with your eyes where the dots take you. Next is the dashed line. Dashes are little short straight lines like this. Have you ever seen a dash before? I bet you have. Who can tell me where you have seen a dash when you're riding in the car? That's right, on the road. They put dash lines on the road so you know what side of the road to stay on. Dash lines are fun. So that's all 6 of our lines. We have straight, curved, wavy, zigzag, dotted, and dashed. So now that we know how to make all the lines, we're going to start our first Kandinsky. Let's write our name at the bottom if you have some space so we'll know whose artwork this is. My name is Roz, so I'm writing my name with the capital R, O, and Z. So you write your name at the bottom of this artwork. All right, now let's practice a couple of shapes that we see in Kandinsky's art. Who can tell me the shape they see the most of in this art? That's right, it's a circle. Watch Miss Roz draw a circle. I have a little bit of space at the bottom, or wherever you have some space, you can practice your circle. I always start at the top, then I go around slowly. Don't go too fast because I make this end touch this end. That's how I draw a circle. Now you try. Start at the top, go around slowly, and then back up at the top. Sometimes you might draw this, and it's not quite a circle, but it's a shape. Do you know the name of this one? Right here, it's different than these two. This one's called an oval. And if you make an oval, that's fine. It's a shape as well. Great. Now let's try another shape you may see in there. What's the next shape we could see in there? How about squares or rectangles? They're shapes that have 4 sides. So I have a little bit of space over here, so find some space. And let's try to draw a square. Squares have 4 sides, so I draw one side, then I draw the other side. These are about the same size. Then I draw line 3 and then line 4. Watch me draw it again. Here's the left side. Here's the right side. Next is the top and then the bottom. Squares have 4 equal sides. Now let's try a rectangle. Rectangles have 2 long sides and 2 short sides. So I draw my long side, then I draw the other long side, and then from the top to the bottom I make it match. That's another shape that has 4 sides. Your rectangles can go also up and down. So squares and rectangles are other shapes that we can draw in our artwork. Next, we're going to turn our paper over to the clean side. I'm going to put mine this way, similar to Kandinsky's. We call this direction landscape way. Not like this. I call this portrait. But I'm going to put it landscape so I can draw like this. Now this is going to be your own Kandinsky. It does not have to look like his. We're going to go through the lines together, and you're going to draw them wherever you want and in any color that you want. So it's going to be your very own abstract art. We're going to do this together. So watch me draw first, and then it'll be your turn to draw. All right, now we're ready to get started. Today, Miss Roz is going to tell you the line to draw, but you can choose any color that you want. And even though I may draw my line on the left, you can draw your line on the right. If I make one line, you can make 2 lines if you'd like. It does not have to be the same. We're going to go through this whole art exercise together. But all of our art is going to look different, and that's going to be the great thing about this. So as we draw, we can glance over at our neighbors, but we don't want them to be the very same as ours. We want them to be different and our own original work. All right, so the first line we're going to draw is that straight line. I'm looking at my white space and I'm thinking, where do I want to draw my straight line? I might put my straight line horizontally or vertically or diagonally. I think I'm just going to go with horizontally, right here in the middle. So choose your color and make your horizontal line wherever you'd like. Great. How about markers? Does anyone have a marker? If you happen to have a marker, I'm going to go through the rules that Miss Roz likes when her students use markers. This is my marker. It has a cap. I take the cap off and I put it in its backpack. So when I'm writing, the cap is always on the top of the marker, and I will never lose it, because if you lose your markers will dry up. And then when you're finished with your marker, I want you to listen carefully. Did you know markers could talk? Listen carefully. You hear that click? That's the marker saying thank you. Thank you for putting my cap back on so I don't get dried out. So if you happen to have a marker, you can use it now. Take the cap off, put it on the backpack, and we're going to make a curve line. Let's look at Kandinsky's and see where he put some of his curves. He has a very thick curve right here. He has some curves near the bottom. They look like rainbows. We're going to decide where we're going to put our curve line. I might put it right here at the top. I start on the left, I go up, and then back over. Put your curve where you'd like it. Great. Mine's on the right side. But you might want to try a different curve. Let's try a curve like a smile this time. Or it could look like a letter U. I put that curve near the bottom. You can decide where you like your curves. How about letter C? Letter C is a curve. Let's make a curve like letter C. Does anyone have a C in their name? How about some tiny curves going in all different directions that look like macaroni and cheese? Can you make me some very small curves? Great. When you finish with your marker, let's remember for it to say thank you. And then you say you're welcome. Great. So far we have straight line and curved line. The next line we're going to try is that wavy line. I'm going to choose a different color. I want my paper to be very colorful. Are you using a lot of different colors so far? Don't use the same, use some different colors. Let's see. Kandinsky has a crazy wavy line right here. I like that one. Do you notice something about that line? It's thick right here, and then as it goes on, it gets thinner. The opposite of thick is thin. That's a very interesting wavy line. Watch Miss Roz. I'm going to draw my wavy line now. Mine might go right here in the middle of my page. I go over like a rainbow, under like a smile, all the way across is my wavy line. I like that red wavy line. Choose a color and make your wavy line where you'd like it. Good. So far we've done straight, curved, and wavy. Now it's time for my favorite line. Who can remember that? Zigzag. So your zigzag can go across your page. It can even go left and right, kind of like a zipper. It could even go diagonally. I noticed that in Kandinsky's, he has a very big zigzag right here. He also has one that goes left and right over here. I'm looking at my space and trying to decide. Artists make choices, so you get to decide where you'd like your zigzag line. So to make a zigzag, you're going to go up and down, up and down. Sometimes they're tall, like mountains. Sometimes they're shorter. That's getting small, kind of like some alligator teeth. There's my zigzag. Did you choose a different color? Make your zigzag now. Great. Our next line is that dotted line that we were talking about. I'm going to use a marker again for that one if you happen to have a marker. Remember the cap goes in the backpack. A dotted line is easy to make with a marker. All you have to do is hold and press. Do you see how I'm making my dots? If you're not using a marker, you can just color those dots with your crayon. I once read that book about the bird and the bees and the frog, and I could tell exactly where they were flying or hopping because I followed the illustrator's dots. Sometimes illustrators use dotted lines to show motion, so I could follow the pattern of the dots and see where the bird was flying or the frog was hopping. So make some dotted lines now, and then we can follow them with our eyes or a finger and see where they're going. If you're using a marker, don't forget to put the cap on it. Look at all the colors I've used. Are you using a lot of colors? It's starting to be so colorful. The last line we talked about was called dashed line. This is an easy line to make because it's just kind of like the straight line. I haven't used brown yet, so I'm going to choose brown. Dashed lines are little, short, straight lines. Sometimes when you're looking at a map, the map makers sometimes draw dashed lines to show you where the route of the boat or the ship may have gone, or different things on a map to follow. And with our eyes, we can follow the dashed lines all the way across the paper, up the paper, and it kind of shows you a path. They're just little short broken lines. So add some dashed lines in your spaces. Great. You see your straight line, your curved line, wavy, zigzag, dots, and dashes. Those are all the 6 lines in the elements of art. Next, we're going to draw our shape. Notice this great shape Kandinsky drew in the corner. Kind of looks like a glowing sun or a planet. So we're going to add some circles. He did circles and circles inside of circles and big circles on the outside, different colors around them. Which one do you like the best? I noticed this one over here kind of looks like a clock, don't you think, with the straight lines coming off of it? All right, let's draw some circles. I'm looking for my empty spaces. I'm trying to decide where would be the perfect circle. I have a great space right here, so look for an empty space and let's draw a circle. If you want to use more than one color, you can use more than one color. This one kind of looks like bullseye. Great. I might put one in this space. I might even do another one up here. How about one in this little corner? I don't think I've used light green yet. I can add some light green circles. Great. It's looking more like Kandinsky's now. If you want to color some of your circles, you can color them. I might use 2 colors for this circle. I might color the inside blue, and then I might color a little red on the outside. Do you want to color some of your circles? Choose some colors in your basket, and you try to color some of your circles any way you'd like. Great. I've colored in some circles. Now I'm going to try to add a square. Do you remember how we drew squares earlier? Let's find a little empty space. I'm going to put one right here. Here's line 1. Here's line 2. Here's the top line. And here's the bottom line. Great. You have 4 sides to your square. Now I'm going to add some vertical lines. I don't know, just a couple. See how many can fit inside your square. And then I'm going to add some horizontal lines. Does that remind you of something in Kandinsky's work? Kind of looks like that checkerboard. Let's color in some of those squares. We don't have to color in all of them. We can just color in a few. I might pick this purpley red for some of these squares. And I might choose a regular blue. Now mine has a checkerboard just like Kandinsky's. If you'd like to make another one, you can add another one if you have another space. Awesome. I'm looking at mine and I'm trying to think what it kind of looks like. Look at yours. Do you have anything does it remind you of? Mine kind of reminds me of a city. I'm looking at it and it's so busy, so I might call mine the busy city. What are you thinking about for yours? Does it look like it's fun? Or does it look like it's calm? What does it look like? Could it be a park, like a fun place? Maybe it could be called the fun park. What are you thinking about for yours? You can call it whatever you'd like because you're the artist. Try to think of something you can make a title for it. Great. You did such a good job on your very first piece of abstract art. Thank you for joining me today. We learned so many things. We learned about Kandinsky and his abstract art called Composition 8. And then we made our own. We made our own using all these lines. We reviewed our lines, straight line and curved line from last week, and then we learned some new lines like wavy, zigzag, dotted, and dashed. And then we made our very own abstract art. As you go through your week, take a look at your surroundings. I bet you'll notice some of those lines that we talked about. And then you may see some abstract art somewhere. Thanks for joining me and hope to see you next week.